What's bittul? So you'll notice if you've, as some of you have been with me, for a long time, that I very rarely use the word bittul. I try my hardest not to use that word because it's got so many kind of negative connotations to it. And it's really like the most positive word that I know, but it's just it's it doesn't have that because when taken simply, the immediate response from people is, well, you've just become a doormat. That's what bittle means. Bittle means you're a doormat. Bittle means you just put your head down, you've lost all individuality, you let people walk all over you, and you're just basically nothing. Yeah, that's
Heilige Schmatter.
yeah, but that's not right. It's like that word schmatter is not because a person who's bottle, I mean, like say it like this, you could say it like this. You would think that someone who's bottle, he wouldn't say something to someone who said something incorrect. Who am I to say something to, that guy stepped out of line, he said something incorrect. But bitter really means who are you to not say something to him? Who are you to not stand up to that person? Who are you to not pick up the trash? Who are you to not rise to the occasion? Who are you to not take responsibility for your life? Who are you to not become the unbelievable hero that you were created to be? That's what bittle means. It doesn't mean who are you to say something or who are you to assume you can serve God. Or if it's the exact opposite, who are you to assume that you can't serve God? Who are you to allow yourself to just become um, buried in your negative thoughts? That's what bittle is. Bittle just means in the most basic, I suppose, most profound sense of the word, it just means moving from a self-centered universe to a God-centered universe. It's like, and it makes a lot of sense that the Earth goes around the sun when you understand that the sun is a moshel for the Shekhinah. Yeah. So see, in the original, what was it called? Not eccentric. What's it called? Centric. Merc. You look up the word when the he is it heliocentric when the Earth is the center of the universe.
Having or representing the sun as a center, as in the acceptable astronomical model of the solar system.
Is called what?
Heliocentric.
Heliocentric. Well, what's the one when the Earth is the center? Yeah, heliocentric is the one when the sun is the way that modern science understands the universe as it is.
Geocentric.
Geocentric, I thought so. Okay, so you've got geocentric. Basically, Bittle means moving from a geocentric reality to a heliocentric reality in the Moshul, meaning moving from thinking that you're the center of the universe to understanding that you are a detail in God's reality. As we've said it many times, moving from God being a detail in your reality to you being a detail in God's reality. That's what bittul means. And then that means that when you get that straight, you are now, I mean, you are a vital cog in the system. So who on earth are you to not pull your weight? Who on earth are you to not be absolutely fabulous and unique and and powerful and resourceful and confident? Because you can't do anything without confidence. You don't believe you can do it, you can't do anything. So part of Bittle means to have confidence. That's so ironic. Because everyone just thinks Bittle is you become this like zombie, this, like you shall me robot going woo, 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 with no sense of self whatsoever, you know, no sense of responsibility.
You have to be a Yesh to become an Iron. If you're not a Yesh, you have to be the ultimate Yesh to become the ultimate Iron.
What do you mean by that, Eddie?
The ultimate version of Shmuel, or Rabbi Shmuel, however you want to be called. And to then become the ultimate heilige Geschmatter that serves Hashem.
So, yeah, exactly. That's the point. Is you need to become the perfect cog. Yeah, Michael.
It's putting the emphasis on essential rather than cog. If we're an essential cog, people will focus on cog. I'm only a cog. But if you put the emphasis on essential, yes, you're a cog, but you're essential and you're needed.
Very good. Beautiful. Beautiful. Perfect. Yeah. That is the point. You are essential in God's plan. You are an essential ingredient in God's plan. So who are you to not become everything that you could become and more? It's like giving oh yeah, I got a good story. A client of mine, a very, very wealthy guy, he bought his dad, and the guy is probably my age, and he bought his dad, who was already an elderly man. He wanted to buy his dad a camera. His dad was like into photography, yeah. So this guy's got loads and loads of money. So what did he do? He bought him like a top level Hasselblad camera. Basically, I'm like this top photographer, yeah, and you've got this old man with a camera worth three times the price of my camera, had no idea it was on the green thing, and he just it was so embarrassing for me that this guy had a camera that was three times the value of my camera. Hey, wait a minute, I got over that. But the point was that's a bizarre. And I saw another thing actually, also another time when in a similar kind of thing where I was in a fancy house in Yerushalayim, and on the kitchen table was my camera, yeah. And I was like, well, who got the camera? So look, one of the kids was like, my mum bought it for me. And I'm like, wow, that's a really good camera, you know. And she's like, yeah, whatever. I just put it on the green thing because I don't understand all the stuff, yeah. So I'm like, that's the bizarre. And imagine buying, that's a bizarre to get such a piece of equipment. I'm not judging these people. They got a lot of money, so they just wanted to get the best thing. But I'm just the idea is it's like someone giving you a Bugatti and you just drive it at 20 miles per hour to the grocery shop every day. Yeah, it will eventually give way. It will start to disintegrate. That's the same with us as well. If we're not mummish, just just digging so deep in every way to just pull out our to shine, not for me. Give me, like I've always said, yeah, just give me a pair of really healthy lungs, yeah, an endless packet of cigarettes, and a can, a few cans of Coke, and I'll sit there. I'll be fine forever. But we're the whole point of this self-improvement is it's not really self-improvement. It's really tikkun olam. It's a bad way of calling it self-improvement because that's like, well, I'm fixing myself. But we've just established that you are, if you want to go with what Michael said, you're just a cog. You're an essential cog. So the perfection of yourself is not about having a good cog. That's silly. It's about a healthy machine. So your self-perfection, you're bringing yourself to the highest level you can bring yourself to, is in context of the machine.
Shmuel, sorry, it's not clicking with me. I don't understand how is it that when, if usually people feel they're self-centered, it's all about them. So
Yeah.
that is, to me, that would be more inspiring if it's about them. Once they realize it's not about them, how is that more inspiring to get them part of the system? What's the change there?
Why do you think it's more inspiring when it's about you?
Well, if it's about me, I want to get things more accomplished. I want to accomplish more because it's about me. Once it's not about me, then why would I want to accomplish? I guess in that sense.
Well, you could say it like this. If you, I mean, what are you? Sof ko sof. How big are you? How eternal are you? You're very small, You're very mortal. You're very temporary. Yeah. It's like I look at these people who have built these perfect bodies. I know one guy who goes to the gym like 2.5 hours a day, and he's built this just absolutely perfect body. And in a few years, it's just going to be, it's, I mean, that takes a certain kind of short-sightedness to put so much time. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a nice body. I'm not saying that you can't invest time into your body, but to invest so much time into your body that's such a temporary thing, that's a bit when you move your perspective to realizing that you're a chalik of the big picture, and it's not just that the machine is separate places, is has is in what's the word, is it has a unity in space. It also has a unity in time. So you have these massive ant hills. Yeah, we've spoken about these like these and there's this termite called the bellicose termite, yeah. I've given Shirim on this. It's most fascinating what these guys build. Um, but they build these unbelievable structures that actually take take well over a year to build. Well over, well over. And each termite only lives about 30 days. So not only do you have a million termites, a million and a half termites working in perfect unison, putting their little pellet of mud in the exact right place and doing their little job, and all working as one cohesive whole, al pi makom, but al pi zman as well. It's intergenerational. You've got these guys, they're the guys who first begin, they're not even going to have the foundations built by the time they start dying. But so what? Because they've moved their perspective from me to the big picture. And that's the inyan of the tzaddik. What's the word we use? What's the code word? There's a few code words for tzaddik. What's one of the code words for tzaddik? Do we say in Shachris in the morning? Go on, lazy, you should get this.
No pressure.
Yeah, no, there is. There's a lot of pressure, actually.
Not for me.
Not for you, no, for Eliezer.
Yeah.
In fact, I couldn't think of any more pressure.
I think he's looking it up.
We say the code word for tzaddik that we say every morning is, in V'vorech David, yeah, we say we go through the spheres basically. Lecha Hashem Hagdula, that's Chesed,
Quiet.
Hagvura, Hatiferes, V'Netzach, V'Ahoid, Ki Kol B'Shemayim V'Oretz. Lecha Hashem Hamamlocha. That's Kol is a Kaf Lamed is a code word for Yesod, which is tzaddik. Just interestingly enough, actually, the Arizal says, I saw this just recently. What's another word for Malchus? Oh, there's loads of words for Malchus. Color. Lachadoidi. Likras color. Color is the feminine version of kol. Kol, exactly. Kol is Yesod. But kol is Yesod, and color, Kaf Lamed Hey, is Malchus. So kol, that's a side point anyway, but kol is the inyan of the tzaddik. Not only does he see himself as a cog in the machine on a level of space, he sees himself as a cog in the machine on the level of Zman. You with me? Meaning it's intergenerational. And that's really the story in the Gemara. Do you remember the story in the Gemara in Tainus with Honia Mago? He met somebody who was planting a tree, a carob tree, and he said, "Why are you planting a carob tree? It takes like 70 years for it to mature." He said, "I'm doing it for my great grandson," or something like that. That's a real bittul. Is understanding you're not just one in the big picture of the machine right now, but that machine expands through time, and you're also one in a sense of that. So Yitzi, the answer to the question, I think, is that when you pull yourself out of your teeniness of yourself and you become enmeshed in the big picture, which is the tzaddik, which is kol, yeah, now you're like, look what you're working for. Before you were working for this tiny little temporary gnat, and now you're working for infinite, endless perfection. That should, that should inspire you a little bit more, no?
Where did the word bittul go haywire? When did it? Why do you never want to use it?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, just look, I mean, we've spoken a lot just now. This is Bittul, like these ideas are not quick, simple ideas, yeah? So when you hear the word Bittul, you translate it as nullification. The guy is null, null and void, nebuch. He's just a schmutter. He's a piece of dirt on the floor. But it's not like that at all. Like a parent who is bottled to his role as a parent, yeah? He will take an iron hand against his child who's chutzpahdik to him. I don't mean to hurt the child, chas v'shalom, but I mean if a child is chutzpahdik to a parent and your bottle, you have an absolute chiyuv to teach your child that that's not acceptable. So however you're going to do that, you have to do that. It's the arrogant parent who lets the kid get away with it. How dare you let the kid talk to you like that? Who do you think you are to abdicate your responsibility of being mechanech your child? What gaiva that your kid insults you like that and you sit there and smile? That's a chutzpah. And that's a gaiva to feel that you're not chayav to fulfill your role in being mechanech your child. You can't let your child speak to his parent like that. It's not about you. Forget you. I don't care that you are all upset and embarrassed. But who are you to allow your child to not learn this lesson that they can't that they can't speak to their parent like that? That's Guyver. So it comes out that Guyver in this situation, Guyver would be the parent who kind of puts his head down and goes, well, and humble or bottle would be the parent who says, Chaz v'sholom, how dare you speak to your parent like that? How dare you speak to your father like that? You go to your bedroom right now and you wait until I tell you you can come out of your bedroom. Finished. That's Bittul.
In the face of it, it's the exact opposite. It's just funny how you lay it out. It's so trippy.
But you hear it, yeah? That's what I'm trying to say? That's the whole point, is that Bittul means who are you to not take responsibility? Who are you to not stand up to Ra? Who are you to not be confident? Who are you to have these negative thoughts? Who are you to think lowly of yourself? Sorry, Mayor, yeah, I see a platzing. Go on.
No, I mean, Lahavdil, at the beginning of the Megillah, that's the reason that the advisors gave to Achashverosh to kill Vashti. No? He didn't want to kill her necessarily, but they said, you have to do it on behalf of all men so that to prove the point that you're just you're representative of others, and we have to make a point of her. Just saying. It's this. I think it's the same logic. I'm not.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, Guyver can chant. Guyver can wear the levush of anything. I was just trying to demonstrate a point. The Guyver Dicker parent can also turn around to the kids.
I'm not trying to negate it by bringing this example, but it's a clear example of exactly what you're saying. Whatever.
On the other side.
On the other side.
Yeah, no, everything. But what I'm trying to draw out is this: the idea of Bittul is not that you're nothing; it's that you're nothing. It's the same thing, but we're saying that like I said, it would be like, who am I to say something to that man who's speaking Lashon Hara? Or you could say, well, who am I to not say something to that man who's speaking Lashon Hara? It's like you don't want to say something to him, so what? You have a chiyuv right now. I'm just making up the example. You have a chiyuv right now to say something to him. How dare you abdicate your responsibility? That's what bittul is. Bittul is, and so with bittul, you actually become the most unique, the most um, actualized, the most confident. That it's literally the opposite of what the basic word of bittul means. But it's a hesbir. There has to be a parish that goes along with it. Is it clear, Mike? Is this clear?
I don't have it 100%,
Well,
but we're getting closer.
can you articulate what you're not clear about?
I mean, it makes sense. Some of it makes sense to me, like, okay, somebody's acting out, whether it be a child, a student, somebody I know, a friend, maybe even that I'm close enough with. And so I don't want to reprimand them because who am I to reprimand them?
Exactly.
But then you're saying, no, 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 no. I have to reprimand them because it's not about me. It's about a bigger picture. It's about God. And therefore, who am I not to do that? It's not about me. And therefore, I have to reprimand.
If that's what the case demands, if that's what the situation demands from you,
Okay.
that demands a confidence, that demands a surety in yourself. So bittul in that context needs a confidence that you've read the halacha, you know the halacha, you realize what this guy just said was really out of order, and now you need to tell him so. So that's a bittul that needs to come with a real confidence. Just the word bittul itself just smacks of pathetic meekness and just patheticness. Do you know what I'm saying?
And also you keep saying that, we have to be the best version of ourselves, not for us, you're saying. It's not for us.
Exactly.
That's the bittle.
That's the bittul. Is I'm striving to be fantastic because you need me, Ribono Shalom, to be fantastic. And now I've got a real reason to be fantastic. Because if I'm not feeling like it, then but now I've got a real reason to be absolutely fantastic. Is because why? Because Ribono Shalom, you need me to be fantastic. You created me to be fantastic. And in your infinite fantastic humility, you actually put the car keys in my hands. Well, who am I to let you down? Who am I to be running on 4 cylinders when I'm 12 cylinders? Who am I to not be, who am I to be sleeping 6 hours when I only need 5 hours sleep? What a wasted hour. Rahmanas. Add that up over a week. You lost a whole day of work. Seven, that's just in a week. Well, you know what I've been doing this year? What my little project is? I've been learning Tanya, yeah? And I mean, I learn Tanya all the time. But what I've been doing is I split the Tanya. You can see, if you see here, it says 4A, yeah? And then I divided it up into like days, like 4A, 4B, 4C, yeah? It's about a page and a half, one blut and a half. And basically after Shachris every day, after Shachris Mincha Ma'ariv, I sit there and for about 3 to 4 minutes, maybe maximum 5 minutes, I say that little chelik of Tanya. I'm going to be Messiah and Tanya 13 times this year. At the end of this year, I have another Seder as well. So 12 each, Bezrat Hashem, Bezrat Hashem. So far, I'm on track. I'm not going to lose any time from my schedule. Do you know how many times after davening, I could potentially have a 5 minute schmooze with somebody as I'm walking out of shul? So instead, now I just sit. First, it's hard when you finish davening mincha, yeah? All you want to do is get back out, back to work, you're in the middle of your day, whatever it is, yeah? To sit there for an extra 3.5, 4 minutes that's hard. Now I'm like become accustomed to it after half a year. Yeah, I did with peak hours last year. So without actually losing any time to my schedule, I'm going to be doing huge chazaras on Sefer Tanya, and that's the idea of like that's using the time that the Rebbeinu Shalom gave you. That's just one example. I'm just I'm sure you've got your own examples as well. But make it like, who are you to not use the time that he gave you correctly? I'm talking to myself here because even though I use my time there, in other ways I'll waste time. So again, that's the bittul. Who are you to not actualize yourself? Who are you to not become absolutely mind-bendingly, inspirationally amazing? Why you don't have that privilege to do what you want. You are expected. The Rebbeinu Shalom expects you to become fantastic. You're Buttle, so now you have to do that.